We're golden, and good morning, and welcome to the Fans Perspective.
We are we are live everywhere right now.
Right on, right on. So, how was your night, man?
Oh, it was good. Yeah, it was really good. Last night didn't accomplish much, which is exactly what I wanted to do. Hung out with the kids and did literally just that.
Oh, right on. We
Yeah.
watched a movie, and my furnace quit at 11 o'clock, so I
Oh
got to
my
get
God, no
that.
way.
Yeah, but that's all right. We got a fireplace,
But
a
is the
gas
furnace
one.
toast?
No, I think probably the motor on it or whatever. So,
Okay. If something needs to be done or whatever, make sure to call us because you probably have that furnace coverage on your policy. So
oh, right on, right on. God,
yeah.
you're just taking care of me so early in the
Oh
morning.
yeah. Just call me or Donnie if something goes awry, and we'll see if there's anything there for you.
Usually, there's just like a motor or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Have
hopefully that's the issue. The full replacement always sucks, but
Yeah, no, it won't be the full replacement because I looked at the code last night there, opened it up,
okay.
and yeah. So we'll check her out, but at least I picked a day where the weather is gonna get a little warmer. So
Yeah, today, yeah, this you don't want this to happen 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days from now. Woo.
no, no, and I guess getting into the show, you didn't want Black Monday to happen because as soon as our show ended yesterday, the coaches were falling. The
We
coaches were falling.
we talked about it. It was immediate general managers were falling. There was lots going on there.
Yeah, yeah. So Atlanta needs a head coach. Carolina needs a GM and a head coach. Of course, Vegas fired their coach earlier on in the year. They need one. The Chargers. You mentioned this yesterday, Ron Rivera with the Commanders. Another
Yeah.
guy flew the coop. The defensive coordinator of Jacksonville this morning, gone.
Defensive coordinator of the Giants yesterday.
Yeah,
Mark,
he resigned actually instead
yeah.
of quit or instead of getting fired. So
Wink Martindale used to be the Ravens until we got Mike McDonald, which thank God we got Mike McDonald.
yeah, well, he will have lots of opportunity
Yeah,
in the
there've been people
NFL
reaching
because
out to him all over. I figure we just pay him whatever it takes to keep him. Make him.
no, no, but Martindale.
Oh, Mark. Yeah, he will too.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
yeah, yeah.
McDonald guy though, he's already got like 3 teams reached out to the Ravens to ask to talk to him. I'm like, no, no. You
About
pay him
head
like our
coaching.
head coach. Pay him like a head coach. Keep that man. He's turned our defense into the greatest thing we might have ever had.
Well, the Ravens will get. That's the NFL, eh? You have success, and bang, you get stripped of your coaches.
Everybody wants it. Everybody wants it. It's kind of ugly, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, success breeds coaching changes. It's
Yeah, it does. It
how it
always
is.
does. Because like we talked about yesterday, coaching is so important. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really pick on the CFL for is we got the coaching cap, and I don't like to
Yeah.
see that because I want to see the best coaches possible in this
Yeah, and
league.
we definitely don't have that.
No, we do not. So, well, let's get to some NHL scores. It was a light night on the sports schedule. Vancouver 6, Rangers 3 in the NHL, Pittsburgh 4, Philadelphia 1, Dallas 4, Minnesota nothing, and a final and shootout, Colorado 4-3 winners over Boston. And that's your NFL or NHL. College football had their big game last night.
National championship last night. The
National
Harbaugh wins.
Yes, Harbaugh wins. Michigan 34-13 winners over the Washington Huskies. So
I watched it last night. That's what I did. I sat my butt on the couch,
yeah,
made some
yeah. And
popcorn.
how was the game? I didn't watch it. So
Um,
how
for me, not great because I was cheering for Washington just because I really like their quarterback, Michael Penix Jr. But he really didn't. I don't know if he was. I mean, he left banged up as hell. He left holding his ribs, leaving the field like he got the shit kicked out of him. But
yeah.
I don't know if he's faced a front like that before. Like he would snap the ball and running for his dear life. I don't know if his offensive line was banged up. I didn't follow them up to this point,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I watched his game last week, and that's the only reason I watched this week, or not last week, a couple of weeks ago when they had their big win over Texas. I think they beat.
Yeah.
Um, but he literally would get the ball and toss it 40 yards to a receiver. It was unreal. Like he's a pocket passer. He doesn't run.
Oh,
And he
really?
just, yeah, no, he doesn't run. And he just slings it. But then yesterday, you could tell he was under pressure. His throws were all off. He was being hit as he was throwing every single time. Michigan
Huh.
made his life absolutely hell.
Yeah. Well, Michigan was a top ranked team
Yeah,
all season
and it
long.
showed.
So,
It
yeah.
really did show last night. Then the Michigan is known for their running game. Um, and their first two plays, their first one was like a 47-yard run for a touchdown. Then
Yeah.
they get the ball back. They hand it to that same guy who runs for 39 yards for a touchdown. He was like 86 yards, 2 carries, 2 touchdowns in the first two drives. Yeah, that was how Michigan
Oh,
started. And then Washington finally fixed that issue.
yeah. And will Jim Harbaugh be going to the NFL?
There is talk. I know the Chargers have reached out to talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so who knows? Who knows? He was already up here once. He coached for 4 years in the
Yeah. Didn't have a
NFL.
lot of success first go around.
No, he got to the Super Bowl in his last year, and
Yeah.
his brother John beat him out. So that was when he was with the Niners. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the Niners, of course, haven't looked back since either, actually.
nope. No, they got rid of Kaepernick after that, and they've done actually really well.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. I'm sure someone will show him the money, even though Michigan pays him very handsomely to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
coach there as
yeah. I
well.
don't
So
think it would hurt him financially to stay. I'll tell you that.
no, but he's facing some. I haven't followed it a lot, but he's facing some scrutiny in the college ranks there too.
Yeah,
There
for
was
sign
some.
stealing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Apparently, that's been pushed away now. They've got enough evidence to whatever do one thing or the other. But it's funny, man. Pro sports is crazy. College sports has so much controversy, so much dirty pool going on. I have no idea
what I
what.
don't get is if you think the other guy is stealing signs, like can't you do a better job of hiding that
Ex-
your signs or changing that up?
you would think so. You would
That was
really think
part
so.
of good coaching at one time. If you could pick up on the other team's signs, like
That's right. Totally. It's a fact, man. Like if that was like, oh, I know exactly what they're running. I could see. I could see. I could
yeah,
see. Yeah.
yeah.
Now
So
that's illegal. It's like counting cards in your head. That's not
that
illegal.
yeah,
Like
that's like a fair play policy in younger kids sports. Like
exactly.
if you're doing a shitty job, change.
It's
Don't sit and whine and say that's not fair. That's not fair.
totally. My mic died, just so you know. So are we still on the phone call?
Oh yeah, you're golden. You're golden.
It doesn't say I'm on the phone
Oh
call,
yeah,
but
no, you were not on the phone, but I can hear you good and clear.
okay. You
Yeah.
can?
Yep. You
Okay.
betcha.
Okay, we'll keep rolling this way. I'll have that charge. I charged it last night. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe gotta buy a new mic. Who knows? Maybe mini mic broke finally. We'll figure it out.
We sure most certainly will.
But
Moving
yeah,
on.
no, I loved it. College football's cool. There's a lot of talent that's coming up. That Penix is going to be a star. I think he needs one more year, to be honest with you. But I do believe he is staying back for one more year.
Yep.
I assume like every quarterback, he'll probably enter the portal. You'll hear in the next week, go make some money.
Oh, isn't that crazy? That whole portal thing and
No
what these
loyalty.
kids are
It's really
making.
how do you build a college dynasty now with everyone wanting to enter the portal just to get paid?
Yeah, and I don't actually quite understand. Someone has to explain it to me what the portal actually is, other than it's a transfer of
Yeah,
schools to the highest bidder.
like I don't understand because most of these guys are on scholarships. And then what you're just saying, thanks for the scholarship, but I want to be paid. And thanks,
Yeah, well,
guys.
who needs a scholarship when you're going to get $3.5 million or whatever?
Exactly. That's what I mean. The scholarship means nothing now. They just need that to get in their first year. And after that,
Yeah,
like enter the portal, baby. Somebody pay me.
I want to know. Like they always cry poor, the big universities. How are they coming up with this money then?
Yeah, they're not poor. My God, they're just whiny babies. They're more lucrative than anything. I bet you some of those colleges make more than some of the NFL teams, and I guarantee that.
Oh, for sure, because they got no payroll other than their
Yep.
coaches, but they are paying their coaches handsomely now.
Yes, the head coaches and some of the coordinators on not on every team, but on certain teams are paid heavily, more than some of the NFL coaches.
Yeah, well, it's going to turn into baseball, basically, where the big
Totally.
schools control everything because they got money, and the small schools won't be able to compete because they just can't afford to.
Well, it's like FSU. They didn't get allowed in the Final Four, and after seeing them get destroyed by Georgia, maybe it's a good thing. But they just can't afford to be up there with them. It was kind of like the Baltimore Orioles situation, where it was amazing that they ended up undefeated or whatever in the regular season. When it came to the playoffs, like they just didn't have the roster to stack up against those four guys.
No, no, no.
And
And how will anyone, I always complain, how will anyone compete with the Dodgers now? They spent another $23.5 million yesterday on a player. Like,
I have no idea what's going on there. Like that guy's got so much money, the owner, but it's just like the league has to set a rule somewhere eventually. Like
yeah,
that's just
yeah.
unrealistic. Like Dodgers, they're just they're trying to buy a cup, which now all you're going to do is create every team want to beat you. Every team is going to come in there and play their very best because they just like they put a target on their own back.
They have, but as a fan of let's say Oakland or any of the small market teams in baseball, we might as well pack her in and not even go out because I mean, how do you compete with the $1.5 billion spending Dodgers?
Yeah,
That
on
was
four
just this
players.
year.
Yeah,
This
that's
year.
just this year. Like
Yeah.
Baltimore and Oakland, and there's another team, they could combine their payroll, all three, and it wouldn't come up to those four players.
Oakland has not spent that much money in the last 10 years on payroll.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
read that.
now Dodgers go and hand that out. And I don't, it sours my taste buds, I guess I'll put it that way,
Yep.
on baseball. I really am pissed off at baseball for watching this happen. There is no salary cap.
Yes, well,
So,
they can't regulate it. That's their fault,
no,
Like they can't if they didn't put a rule in, I guess if a guy wants to go spend $1 billion, $2 billion, they're allowed
yeah.
to.
Well, they have a luxury tax rule that if you go over, you pay so much. But obviously, it's not lucrative of an. It's not a big enough penalty, I
That's right.
guess. That these guys with money just whatever. You
Yeah,
know.
I'll pay the tax. I'm gonna win.
Yeah, yeah. And the Yankees used to be the big dogs in spending, and the Dodgers have, and the Mets
Yep.
last year, they have
Yeah,
gone way over the
all for
top.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah. The Mets were horrible.
Horrible.
And I hope the
Horrible.
Dodgers are too, just because of it.
That would be great. Yeah, just
Yeah, yeah.
man.
Uh,
I just never love when a team tries to buy a championship.
No, and you know what? The players they have trouble, meshing as a team when you got all
Absolutely.
this money
Especially when
flying
one
around.
guy's being paid 650 million, the other guy's making 6 million.
Yeah, exactly. And so I looking at a little CFL news and Trey. Oh gosh, now I'm
Ford.
trying to think. Trey Ford out of Edmonton. Yeah, there's some rumblings there that he might be moving on, like
Yeah.
or looking to move on. So, hello, Jeremy O'Day. He picked that guy up. I would take him all day long.
Absolutely. There's no risk there to me. There's only reward on that one. There's zero risk picking something like
Yeah.
that up, or at least bringing him in.
Oh, for sure. You have to, and they signed McLeod Bethel Thompson, which good on them. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah,
I don't
he's a
know.
good quarterback. Yeah.
I guess maybe Chris Jones is feeling the pressure a bit in Edmonton because it's win now or probably he's fired maybe.
I
So
agree there, 100%. I think it is a win now.
yeah,
And the Riders announced yesterday something I don't like, but that Corey Mace will also be our defensive coordinator, which I don't like when our head coach wears two hats.
yeah, I don't like that either. I don't like that either.
But I mean, they were late to the punt, and nobody wants to come coach for the Riders, and I know that's the main issue.
Yeah,
Um, there's not a lot of option out there because nobody wants to come to the fire sale until they've seen that maybe the flames have been put out, you know?
and well, the other thing was I watch for Richie Hall to make a move actually. because Winnipeg promoted their secondary coach yesterday to defensive coordinator. So Richie Hall will be getting a new title, and that's going to be interesting
Yeah, yeah.
to see what happens there. And I'm
Yeah.
just reading on Corey Mace. Yeah, it's where are they?
I
Yeah,
just
he's defensive coordinator. And who's special teams? Did you hear?
I didn't, not yet. No, I didn't hear that.
Okay, I
No, I
was.
never read all the article that I read yesterday just talked about Corey Mace taking the defensive coordinator role, which I think he's a great defensive coordinator. That's his
Yeah,
position, that's his role previously. But if he's going to be the head coach, I want him to be the head coach.
I wonder
Um,
if they're going to bring in like a quarterbacks coach. That's kind
I
of a
would,
lost title, you know. But
yeah, I would think they're going to try to bring in all the positions now. Whether anybody wants to come to the fire sale in Saskatchewan yet is this the next thing. There's not a lot of guys knocking at the door right now. So
yeah, well, you would think there's got to be some guys available, as we talked yesterday. The XFL, the USFL merged, so there's half the teams there.
half the
Um,
teams, half the personnel, half the everything will be available somewhere.
yeah, Saskatchewan did reach out to. I'm trying to think of his name in Calgary. He's the special teams coordinator
Okay,
there, but Calgary denied permission to talk.
bastards.
Yeah, yeah. So he was expected to be our defensive coordinator. So
Oh,
at one point, and probably after that happened, Mace maybe, I guess if you're not going to find a guy you're comfortable with to bring in,
yep,
I'll just do it myself, kind of deal, right?
probably. I mean, yeah, you don't want to bring in somebody that's not going to be see your vision, and if there isn't anybody
Yeah.
out there that's willing to come, then I guess my vision is what goes.
I did like that Dan Farthing, the ex-rider, was brought in or is brought in. He's going to be our conditioning coach.
Yes, saw that.
That's going to be pretty cool. I mean, getting an ex-rider involved, and
I like legacy. I
yeah,
like
I do
that.
too.
I'd love to have
Um,
Durant back.
yeah, Darian Durant would be an awesome QB coach or something. Whether he's
Yeah,
kind of getting Wes Cates offensive coordinator or something like that.
be
Uh,
awesome. Someone new
another,
too.
yeah, Jones is out there. I
Yep.
actually always have liked Jones as a coach. I didn't want Paul LaPolice because he was around before.
Yeah, he's been with the Riders before. Yeah, I think he
Yeah,
was on the
yeah,
13th man.
yeah, he was, and I mean a good coach too. Don't get
Yes,
me wrong.
very good
But I
coach.
just didn't want a recycled guy again. I wanted somebody new. So
Yeah, if we're in
hopefully,
full rebuild, I want full rebuild. Yep. I mean, we got a new head coach. But I wish we would have had more like options. It just seems like everyone's kind of like tippy toeing around the Riders. They're kind of like, God, that place has been a dumpster fire for a few years now. Everyone's like, let's wait till it starts to turn a little bit to the
yeah,
uphill.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah. Well,
see.
Mace has got to get the culture brought in that
That's right. That's his job.
change. Yeah, that's his job, and I actually like the guy. I like Corey Mace. I'm rooting for him. I'm not. I'm on the fence with like you about our offensive coordinator. I don't know. I think there'd have been better guys like Henry Burris. I wouldn't have
And maybe
mind.
there was no one else really possibly available, right? Maybe that came down to that as well. And Mace can't do the offensive coordinating, so maybe
No,
that
no,
maybe
he was
that's
a
what it came down to.
yeah. But I mean, there's Jones is out there. I think there were other options. I think Burris threw his name in the hat early. Burris does not have any coordinator experience on the offensive side. I think he was
Yep.
just a special assistant down in Chicago there for a while. But um, like to see guys like that get a chance.
Me too. If you even bring him in as the quarterback coach and assistant for now, would be
Yeah,
nice. But I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if they've got that in the budget or what. Because he probably wants to be paid like a coordinator, knowing Burris.
yeah, yeah.
But
But you know what? We ain't paying any other coaches because their contracts all expired this
that's
last
right. Yeah, we
offseason.
don't have multi contracts on our books or anything like that. We should have the
No.
money to pay a coach.
Yeah, and looking ahead to free agency, well, the Riders have done a little business, but not a lot. Like I was looking last night, just kind of prepping for this show, and man, the CFL. has not done a lot of signings so far. Like
I don't know
all
if
the
they
big
wait for the
dogs.
NFL to end or what they're doing, but yeah, not a lot of movement this year.
No, like, and free agency is February the 13th. So we are almost 1 month to the day, not quite.
Yep.
And you have the big dogs out there, like for Winnipeg, you got their running back still sitting out there, and he's had some NFL tryouts and stuff. I get that, and probably, will he sign? Will he look at the market? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I'd be testing the
Calgary's
waters
got a
everywhere.
lot. All the actually, I'm just running through the list. Most teams maybe sign 4 or 5 of their guys, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah. There's no big moves. Nobody's signed a ton. Nobody's really set on their roster this year. It's kind of one of those weird years.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, and I sure hope Sean Bain gets to the Riders. Like I really want him there.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. I think if he doesn't get any interest down in the NFL, I do believe he'll be back.
Yeah,
Um, but he's going to get interest from other CFL squads as well. That's always scares me.
for sure. Well, let's just go through the Riders list here just briefly. Mario Alford re-signed.
Yep.
Uh, Awachi, he's a fullback. He's available. Sean Bain, of course. Philip Blake, I think, probably going to retire. He's kind of over
Yep.
the hill,
Probably
kind of.
will.
Yeah. Juwan Brescison, unsigned. I don't see the Riders signing him, actually. He's the depth receiver, so it kind of hurt last year. Miles Brown did resign, defensive lineman. Then they got Demarcus Christmas, Jeremy Clark. Jeremy Clark probably will. Who knows? DB. I don't know if he did great or not. It's hard to say.
Yeah, we were so shitty,
DeBeer,
it's hard to tell.
yeah, Larry Dean, middle linebacker. He probably has another year in him, I would think.
Yeah, I would think.
Jake Delagala, kind of interesting to see what happens there. Logan Ferland, Mason Fine, Amari Henderson, another defensive back, and then Justin Herdman Reed, linebacker. Frankie Hickson, running back. I doubt we'll see him back again.
They never used
Um,
him last year for crying out loud.
no, Evan Johnson, Micah Johnson, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Tevin Jones, a guy I'd really like to see back, wide
Yeah, he's
receiver.
one of the few I would like back.
I liked him. Colin Kelly, offensive lineman, blew out his knee kind of at the third way point of the year. So we'll see if where it happens with him. Anthony Lanier, one of the defensive linemen I would take back.
Lanier?
Lanier, I would
Yeah,
take.
he's got big upside. He's got a big motor when he's rolling. Yeah.
Yeah,
And with a
Brett.
new coach, he might motor all the time.
Yeah, Brett Lowther, our kicker. Of course, I would hope we're gonna get him back.
I would hope so.
Yeah, Eric Lofton, offensive lineman. Nelson Lacombo, Moncrief was released. Sorry, not
Yep.
retired. I think we're going to a new running back this year. Actually, I don't expect to see Morrow or Hicks back. In my opinion, we'll see. Morrow's still
Yeah,
a free agent.
I agree there. I think we're gonna have a whole
Yeah,
new set of running backs. Yeah.
yeah. CJ Revis, of course, extended. And then there's Pete Robertson and Micah Tyson. I don't really know if I want either of those guys back. Like Pete Robertson, for sure not. I don't want Pete
Yeah,
Robertson.
I don't know.
So
Yeah,
we'll
Pete
see.
Robinson would do really good in Edmonton. He's a Chris Jones guy. He'll do great if Edmonton grabs him because Chris Jones always seems to get them them
Hot-headed
troubled
guys.
guys, and then
Yeah.
for some reason he can kind of control them just enough, and
Yeah.
they terrorize teams when they play for him. I don't know why. It's just
But
like he's that defensive guy, and they play for him.
yeah, I thought Robertson took a step back last year. Like
He
he was
did.
supposed to be our guy after he had a breakout season, and he just seemed to disappear. And then when he did appear, it was because of penalties that we heard about him because he took a bad penalty on Caleros there. I remember against Winnipeg, well after the ball was thrown, and I hated him since that point,
Yeah,
actually. Like,
he can't control his emotions on the field, and sometimes Chris Jones can kind of contain that a bit.
yeah,
He yeah, there's always been those guys come through like the Dwight Anderson. We used to have him, and Montreal had him, and for the years that you could control a guy like that, he was such a
yeah.
piece to have on your team. But the second you can't, you got to get rid of him because they're
Well,
trouble.
we had Marino. Remember Marino? Like he
Marino
was
was
up,
unreal. He would have been an absolute stud. Now, I
just
mean,
couldn't
and that
control.
crushed when they got rid of him. The whole room was pissed off. They
Oh
wanted him
yeah.
on there. Nobody wanted him gone.
Well,
Just,
he was a
just the
great player, actually.
great player, and the fans knew it. Everybody knew it, and the coaching staff. We just had the weakest coaching staff. Nobody could, be like, all right, you got to control your emotions or play him in certain situations. You don't have to
Yeah,
play him every time. Like once he got heated, you'd know the next play he'd do something stupid. We'll have him sit,
yeah,
pull him off, put plug and
yeah.
play someone. You could see him on the field when he would get fuming. But man, that guy was awesome. And
I wonder,
when
as a coach, were you on edge all the time as a coach when he's out there? Because you just like, okay, when's he gonna blow up?
yeah, like he was like a Vontez Perfect, back in the day with the Bengals.
Yeah,
You wanted him on your team because he's going to light guys up and no one's going to want to come across the middle, and that just changes the whole demographic. But at the same time, you got to be able to, as a coach, you have to be his boss. And we didn't have any bosses, and he controlled it, and that was his demise.
yeah,
Sucked.
exactly,
Great
exactly.
talent wasted, in my opinion.
For sure, I agree. Well, here's a talent that's not going to waste. Gavin McKenna, Medicine Hat Tiger, WHL Player of the Week.
Player of the week. Yep. Unreal.
And yeah, it's funny when they're talking about he's 2026 draft eligible,
Yeah.
and he's near the top of the league in statistics as a 16-year-old. Just turned
Yeah.
16 before Christmas.
It's unreal. Like 16, man. He hadn't even hit puberty yet, and he's just lighting it up. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, so this is our turn now. We watched other guys grow through teams in the Canadian Hockey League. We got
Yep.
to see Bedard be that star.
Yep.
Now, isn't it really cool? And Medicine Hat and area, and I'm talking about all of us in Fox Valley and surrounding area too. The Tigers are our team,
Yeah.
and we're going to have the guy in
Yes.
all of Canadian hockey.
World class
And,
athlete an hour away.
yeah, and we're going to get to watch him in the home rink, beautiful rink in Medicine Hat
Yep.
there. Man, the next couple years are going to be super
And
exciting.
unlike Bedard's reign, he's on a good team.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Bedard never did. It was just Bedard.
yeah.
He lit it up all by himself and he had nothing. Like they barely made the playoffs because their team was trash. And not only do you get to go watch a world-class athlete, he's on a hell of a team. Like it's a good show to go watch. I'm telling
It
you,
is.
if you're in
Yep.
town and they're playing, it's a ticket you want to get.
The best offense in Canadian hockey right
Crazy.
now. So that's crazy. The best offense. And you know who number two is in the WHL for goals scored is the Swift Current Broncos. So
No way.
yes, yes,
Wow.
that's kind of crazy. But trade deadline is coming. It could be today or tomorrow. In fact, trade deadline. So we'll see if any more names. I expect Medicine Hat to just kind of maybe tweak around the edges, and because
Yeah,
this still is not their year. They're a year ahead of schedule as we talked all along here. So look for them to build, like they got a lot of 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds,
crazy.
man. Next year, look out this year. That I mean, they're not packing it in this year either. So
Yeah, they're gonna go deep, man, with this roster, and their goaltending is awesome.
yeah,
Um, yeah,
and
it's
I
it's
like
it's unreal.
Oasis Weisblatt as a 19-year-old because I think he'll be back as a 20. A great leader. He's got that fire. He's not scared out there at all. Like
Yep.
he'll ring the bell and go with anyone. He's
Yep.
just that
He's a
gritty.
veteran, gritty guy.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he's perfect for the leadership group of the Tigers. Like
I do
they
too. With all those young guys, they kind of need that type of leader.
yeah, and Medicine Hat has had quite a few injuries actually this last while too. So they're going to have some guys coming back. Their leading goal guy has been out for the last 2-3 weeks. So
Yeah, that's crazy, and they're still winning. They're
yeah,
still racking
still
them up.
winning. Yeah, yeah. So I don't think you do anything if you're the Tigers, unless you, like I said, you can tweak around the edges moving into later this year and next year. You want a guy probably in that 18-year range, I would think.
Yes, agreed.
Uh, somebody who's going to be there for the next couple of years. And
That's right. You got to get a guy that's got 2 years in him for this playoff and next playoff, and that
yeah,
changes your game a bit. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And probably Medicine's more interested in tweaking, instead of overhauling. Unless
Yep.
they can get a real stud goalie or something, because their goaltending's very young too. So
It is very young, and that's always scary in the playoffs. For the regular season, it might tear it up.
yeah,
Playoffs is different, though. You have one bad game, and you always see the kind of rookie quarterback that sometimes that's it. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, having a veteran goalie is never a bad idea.
exactly. And we'll finish out the show talking a little NHL. Bring us up to date on your old Calgary Flames.
I don't know what to say. I'm kind of happy they're losing, and it's I don't think they want to be losing. Like I watch, they're devastated. They're having interviews. I'm like, guys, this is a good thing. This is what needs to happen because if you keep winning like you guys are, win three, lose two, win four, lose one, win three,
Yep.
lose two, we're gonna end up at a 500 team, maybe slip into the playoffs, get nothing for a pick, and be right back here again next year, September.
I
So
think they're probably going to get some picks though, because I think they'll trade away. I believe Hannafin will
I just
go.
don't understand why they haven't traded him yet. I don't. There's been trades happening all over,
There
and
has, yeah.
I don't get it. Like it's like we're waiting it out to see if we have a stretch. Guys, who cares about the stretch? We don't need the stretch because we're never coming back and we're not going to win 7 games in a row like the Oilers. We don't have the team to do that.
I think
Um,
they're probably waiting for the prices to go up, like on Hannafin and Tanev and
yeah,
Markstrom. Look for all three of them guys to move.
yeah.
I believe, and we'll see what kind of
Well,
picks.
Markstrom would be the best because right now his value is the highest. He's been playing lights out all year.
Yeah,
Whether they win or lose, he's been the only reason they've been in either side of those games. He's probably got their best value. The rest of the guys, I don't know how any of them have value other than our rookies who we can't get rid of. But Zari would be our most lucrative guy. But you can't get rid of him. He's second in scoring and rookie scoring and will be first with Bedard out 4 to 6 weeks.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Do you
like
want, as a GM or as a fan of the Flames, do you want to see them go for draft picks in trades, or do you want to see them bring in young talent that is kind of a known commodity already, but
I would
not,
like a
you know,
mix of both. I honestly would love a mix of both, kind of like that Igor Shangorovich or whatever it is,
yeah,
that deal, that's turned out great for us. We got a pick and him, shit like that. I'd love that, you know,
yeah.
because I don't know what next year's draft is fully going to be hold. But
Well, you
there's
got
going to be some,
Celebrini, we know that because
yeah,
man, they
and I
pumped his
assume
tires.
Jimmy Snuggerud will be in there as well.
Yeah,
Um, he was going to go this year and then stayed back one more year. So,
I think that draft will be pretty deep offensively.
yeah,
And it depends though. Calgary is not any lottery position though, and those
no,
guys are all lottery picks.
yeah, that's the issue. Like that's where we need to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
You
need
need
to
to
be,
be top three. Top
yeah,
three you want to be.
yeah. And I don't think it's going to get there because they keep trying every week. And it's
No,
like,
actually, Calgary's got 40 games played and they got 39 points. So they are sitting sixth from the bottom in the Western Conference. So they're actually, they're one of 8 teams that are out of the playoffs in the Western Conference, but not by a lot, right? Like, so they're
yeah.
there, but
And that's what I don't want. I don't want to be there. I want it to be like so far gone that it's like, all right, here we
yeah,
go. Schmaltz is playing net tonight. We're gonna lose by 32. Yeah, we're gonna let's go, boys.
Anaheim started trading yesterday. They traded a young defenseman away
Yep.
to Philadelphia. Philadelphia give up their best prospect in Gauthier to get him. So yeah, so there's some movement. Minnesota's another team that's kind of there, but not really there.
Yeah.
Uh, Nashville, I don't see them hanging on either in the wild card race. I
Yeah, I
see.
don't either. They
Um,
don't. They didn't look very good the last three times I've been watching them, but
Yeah, and it did happen yesterday. The Toronto Maple Leafs now have four $11 million guys.
that's
They signed
wild.
Nylander. So where can they go moving forward? I know John Tavares has 1 year remaining after this year, and I just don't know how you can build a team around four $11 million
Uh,
guys.
Not in the NHL salary cap.
No, all forwards too. All
All
forwards.
forwards, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean,
And they still got shitty goaltending, and their defense is suspect. I don't know.
yeah, I like Morgan Riley. That's the only defenseman I
Yeah,
kind of
I do
like.
too. He would be their best by
Yeah,
far.
yeah, and I don't like Toronto at all. So shout out to Pat McPhail because I know he's a huge Toronto fan,
Well,
but
they'll always do good in the regular season. They're known for it. It's just that playoff curse is ugly.
they don't have the grit either, like the sandpaper. Tell me one player who is gritty on the Maple Leafs. Like,
Can't. I
no,
can't.
they're all show, no
They're
go.
they're all superstars, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not how you win a hockey game.
And to be fair, there is not a lot of grit in hockey today in the NHL. Like,
But
there's not
man,
even a
come
lot of
playoffs,
hitting.
you do need it. That
Oh, you do. Yeah,
it's a big deal in playoffs. It might not be all season long,
yeah.
but son of a bitch, is it ever important in
Well,
playoffs?
you watch the Boston Bruins. Florida was gritty last year. They had a run because they had a lot of grit. Teams like that, they're tough to play against.
Oh, are they ever,
Real
man?
tough, you
Real
know.
tough.
Yeah, and so who do you see? Just kind of who's your pick in the NHL right now? Kind of that you can see going a long ways in the playoffs.
I could see the Oilers definitely going far in the West. I still think, other than them in the West, I really do. I have faith in Colorado. I
Yeah,
really do.
yeah,
I think they've got a really good squad all around. They've just got a good team. They're fast. They're pretty physical.
yeah,
And they've got back end.
yeah,
Anybody that's got guys like Cale Makar and Nathan McKinnon on the same team, you got a star on both sides. As long as they're both healthy, that team's always going to be good. Um, Other than them, who do I love? I think Vancouver is good, but I think they're too young to go far. That's
yeah.
that's just my opinion. I'm always like, like the NFL, me and Donnie talked yesterday, like Houston Texans, a good story, all that. I just still think they're too young to
Yeah,
go
they
too
haven't been
far.
in the pressure cooker yet,
I
basically.
think the Browns are going to beat them in the wild card. I really do.
I do
Even though
too.
I do believe that Texans does have the talent to beat them,
Yeah,
but the defense and the veteran savvy of a Miles Garrett and Joe Flacco and all that, that's going to play a factor this
yeah.
weekend.
I can't wait. I've kind of been avoiding the NFL thing today because I know moving after today we're going to be talking NFL as we go here now and pumping
Yeah,
up the
yeah.
games. And I can't wait to pick this weekend. My favorite weekend of football, like I said, wild card weekend.
6 games.
Oh, that
And
that that will be
o-
great.
other than that, Winnipeg's got a great squad this year, which I kind of like to see. Nice Canadian team that I'm pumped about.
Yep,
Um,
yep,
Vegas seems to always kind of be there. Um, Kind of just LA's got a good squad.
yeah.
Um,
There's some good
I don't
teams.
know.
There
There
really
there
is.
is some good teams.
Winnipeg always falters near the end, though.
They
We'll see if
do.
they can get over
A
that,
lot of
right?
times they're first place end of January.
Yeah, yeah,
You
they are,
know.
and they are again. They're first in the Western Conference, and that trade with LA, as far as
Oh,
I can.
really?
Yeah, they are first in the Western Conference. Winnipeg. So that's
Oh,
that's
wow. Did not know that. Okay. Well, that makes sense. They're always first in January. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
and they got great goaltending. They got some grit. They got size. That
Yes.
Adam Lowry kid is a beast. Like
Yeah,
that's
he's
one
huge. Yeah,
man I
big
would
guy.
not want to tackle. There's no question, unless I
No,
had
stay away from
Dwayne the
him.
Rock Johnson with me or something like that.
Yeah. Maybe Dwayne the Rock. He might help.
Yeah,
Who else? I think Florida actually has a good team. They haven't been consistently up, but they have spurts, and the
Yeah,
Panthers are good. Um,
yeah,
the Rangers, the Rangers are a decent hockey team.
yeah. It's kind of all over the map. Just when you think you got it figured out, a team slumps and they just can't get in. And one thing I'm
Yeah,
watching is like Washington with Ovechkin and Pittsburgh with Crosby. They're both teams. They're older. They're out of the playoffs right now. It's going to be very interesting to watch what they do. Like you got, superstars that are on the tail end. And both those guys have battled each other for years, and they just,
for years. Yeah, they've
yeah,
been the stars of the league for years. Yeah,
they're great guys still,
be
but
great for a playoff team to pick one of those guys up for a playoff.
yeah, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens because Ovechkin was on pace to break Gretzky's goal thing, but I don't think that's going to happen
Yeah,
now unless he plays till he's 50
I don't think so either. No.
because
Yeah,
he's
he's
just
gonna have to
not scoring at
continue
the
to
rate.
play. Yeah, and his
Yeah,
body is gonna wear down.
yeah, yeah.
No,
And
no, I
he
mean
played a
it's too
physical.
hard to go like that pace.
Yeah, he played a very physical game. So, anyways, but all
Very
right. Well,
physical. He's
yeah, he is. We'll probably wrap her up for today and start back again tomorrow. And there'll be lots of NFL talk tomorrow night. We're doing a little. We got some shows happening tomorrow night. Some of the special shows, and we'll be announcing them as the days come by. Super excited for those. So it was a
yeah.
quiet.
So we probably be on tomorrow morning,
Yep, yep.
but we probably won't be on tomorrow morning just because I got some stuff to do at work. So we'll be on
No, that's
tomorrow
fine.
night.
You betcha. Yeah, we'll have one live podcast tomorrow night. The other will be recording for a future release, and yeah, we'll go from there. So should be exciting. There'll be lots of, like I said, football talk ahead, and we'll tee up all the action come Thursday morning here on the fans' perspective. And join us tomorrow night for an all new podcast. We got great interviews tomorrow night. So we got I'll just say it now. We got the Outlaw Buckers coming on tomorrow night. So that's going to be exciting. And the other one I'm not going to announce yet. So, but join us for the Outlaw
Okay.
Buckers. They're rough stock guys here in Canada. They had some stock down at the NFR, and we're going to find out what it takes to make a great bucking bull and a saddle bronc horse, and they're into it all. So we're gonna quiz them out on that and see what it's like being on the road and following all these rodeos and the whole 9 yards. So we're gonna dabble into a little rodeo talk tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
You betcha. So join us then, and thanks for tuning in this morning as well.
Cheers, guys.
Have a good one, Matt.